Good morning and welcome back to the East Neuk of Fife. I've just taken a drive to St Monans, I think it's pronounced, and there's quite a lot of beauty here. It's quite a famous place for photography, and because of the pier, because it's a really interesting zigzag pier which I'm sure many of you have seen images on online. But the reason I've come here this morning is because it's a very beautiful historic windmill here that I've never seen a proper windmill in real life. I know you get a lot of them down in England and other parts of Europe, but it's not something that you see very often, if at all, in Scotland. So I've come here this morning. I was swithering about whether to get up because we've had pretty much gale force winds overnight and it's still pretty windy just now, but it has calmed down just a tad. Now, we didn't have much of a pre-sunrise dawn this morning. Not much happened, so I was just sort of lounging around my accommodation debating whether to get up or not, but I thought it might look pretty nice when the sun has risen and we've got some golden light hitting the windmill, so I've come down anyway, and let's go and enjoy this windmill, and fingers crossed for some beautiful light once that sun has risen above the horizon and we've got that gorgeous orange glow. Up here, it actually turns out that I'm not the only photographer here, which is not shocking. This is a stunning location. Unfortunately, we've got this quite big blanket of cloud over the Isle of May where the sun is rising, and it's obscuring that golden light with the sunrise. It could be coming to hit the land, but it's still a beautiful time of day to be out with the camera, and as a result I'm going to take some images of this from a different vantage point than I'd hoped to. Actually, I didn't really know where to shoot because I've never been here before, but I'm finding different vantage points in all different places, so I'm hoping being at this side of it that if that light does come out, it's going to hit it and light up really, really nicely. So fingers crossed for that. Let's get the tripod set up and see what I can manage to capture. Now, if it wasn't so windy this morning, one thing I would definitely be trying right now is a long exposure shot of this windmill, because there's some clouds behind it that could, in a long exposure situation, give some interesting images. Unfortunately, the tide is also out this morning, which I knew was going to be the case. I never realised the windmill was going to be quite so close to the sea, but if I had known and the tide had been in, it would have been a good opportunity to get some crashing wave shots because of the windy sea with the windmill sort of in the background. But neither of those things are going to happen this morning because of the conditions. I'm debating, because I've never been here before and I'm here for 4 days, I'm debating whether just to go for a walk around this area, up and down the coastal path, and look for different vantage points, because possibly I could come back here tomorrow or Thursday morning and try this shot again. It's always difficult when you come to a new region, a new location, especially somewhere like the East Neuk of Fife, because it is overwhelming when it comes to photography. There is photography opportunities everywhere. There's lighthouses, this windmill, quirky, quaint, picturesque harbours, award-winning beaches, like you name it, this coastline has got it. And as I've now been here before, I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of photographic opportunities that are presenting themselves to me. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this windmill just now. I think I'm just going to walk around, scout out this area, and if I see some interesting compositions and the light changes, I'll of course get the camera back out again, get some images and just see how this morning goes. But it's so nice to have got out of bed early and just to be here, embracing this and enjoying it. And yeah, just enjoying a new location. It's always an exciting experience.
Although I was enjoying this morning out, the wind was making it incredibly difficult to vlog, so I decided to concentrate more on the photography. Noticing that the light was not bouncing off the landscape as I'd hoped, I looked for something different and found that the light casting over the Isle of May proved to be quite interesting in the grand scale of things. Here you can see the silhouette of the island on the horizon with the sun poking through the clouds and reflecting over the sky. Just after this happened though, the sun poked from behind the clouds and began to light up the landscape around me as I'd hoped it would, and I began to get my camera out yet again and take these snaps here of the light casting on the land and interacting with the windmill as I'd hoped would happen that morning. This one here was certainly my favourite shot of the morning. With the light casting on the land and the orange glow in the sky, I loved the way that the shadows had created contrast in the image too, and it was an overall colourful scene well worth enjoying and photographing. I was determined to get, as I normally am, a wee picture of me against this stunning windmill. So I decided to explore around the bottom of it, and I took these two snaps here, one without the sun casting on me and one with the sun casting on me, of just me enjoying this beautiful landmark. It was certainly worth getting out of bed to enjoy this morning, and I'm sure you can agree that the light, although not perfect, it did allow me to create some interesting images, given it was my first time at this location.
Well, that was exciting. The wind is so strong this morning that my wind muff blew off of my camera. Luckily, I managed to retrieve it, so I'm going to find some sticky tape or something to stick it back on later. But because of that, I was really struggling to vlog because I didn't want, it's so windy this morning. It's a struggle to vlog even with a wind muff, never mind without one. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle to do some vlogging there, so you probably had some voiceover through those last few clips. But I'm just going to explain to you briefly what just happened. So, there was another photographer there this morning, as I mentioned earlier in this video, and he decided to leave pretty quickly after the failed sunrise, but I wanted to stick around to see if there's any other opportunities, and I tried shooting the Isle of May as a silhouette with the sun rising up behind it. Didn't quite work as I'd hoped it would, but you never know, potentially the images will look a little bit better on the computer than they did on the back of the camera. And then, sort of out of nowhere, the sun came from behind the clouds and started to light up the land. Now, it was too late for that lovely orange glow that I would have wanted, but it was still had some really nice yellows and light hitting the land. But at this point I've been doing the scouting out, I'd sort of missed the best opportunities to get a good composition. I was sort of running around like a headless chicken trying to find a composition to try and shoot it. So there's no amazing images that I managed to take this morning, but I did manage to take some interesting shots with the light that'll look really good on social media, so good for Instagram. And it also allowed me to scout out this location, a location I've never been to before, and it was just great fun, really great fun. And then I went up to the actual windmill itself and got some interesting images of me at the bottom of it. So it was a bit of a, I don't know how to say how this morning went. I'm really glad I got out of bed early and got out to this location. I felt the wind in my hair, and it's so exhilarating to A, be out so early in the morning, and B, to feel the full force of nature. Truly admire it and enjoy this time of day. Now, I watched a video by Thomas Heaton recently who said that he went out on a really dreary, miserable morning, and despite the fact that he knew the weather was going to be bad and the chances of photography were quite slim, he said that he never regrets getting out of bed early and just getting out into nature and into the landscape, and that's exactly how I felt this morning. We never had that stunning sunrise that I'd hoped for, but it was exhilarating to get out, to scout out a new location, and I hope that I've managed to get some interesting sort of tourism shots that, as I say, will look good on social media. No good images from my portfolio, my landscape photography portfolio, but I've come away with something, and I've come away with a great experience of getting up early and enjoying it. So right now I'm going to head back to my accommodation, have some breakfast, and then do some more exploring around the East Neuk of Fife. So if you want to see where I end up later today, what images I end up taking, and just come along for the adventure, tune in next time. And as always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all again then. Thank you.